one person get, Success Club 42 and another person get Success Club 6, right? What's that differentiating factor? And I think it's 3 core things, okay? That's what I want to talk to you guys about today, because I think these things, while they're not necessarily like tasks and things that you can do, I'm going to try and give you examples of how you can take action on them so that it actually empowers everything else about you. So the 3 things are the power of declarations. The second thing is the power of belief. And the third thing is the power of action. And I know they're a little bit hokey, but they actually work. And so we're going to get them into practice right now. Can everybody, can you unmute everybody? Shayla, I don't know if you can do that on your end.
Everyone, yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to unmute everybody. It's going to sound a little bit ridiculous, but if it doesn't sound ridiculous, then we're going to do it again and again until it sounds ridiculous. So no matter who's around you, husband, boyfriend, well, if it's a boyfriend, you're about to get broken up. Just kidding. We're going to do this exercise together. Hopefully we can hear everybody. So everyone's unmuted. So on the count of 3, I want you to say, I will hit Success Club 20 in December. I will hit Success Club 20 in December on the count of 3, okay? 1, 2, 3, go.
I will hit Success Club 20 at the end of December.
20 in December.
Awesome, good. No, that's good. Okay, so now say it like, some of you are like, well, when I say this, like I'm worried what everyone else is going to sound like, and I kind of want to keep it in rhythm, and I want to make sure it's all good. Now just say it like you don't care what it sounds like at the top of your lungs, and I'll say it as well. And we're going to say it however you want. If you screw up the words, who cares? What matters more is that you say it loudly, you say it like really proud, and that you fully, firmly believe it. Like imagine you just won $5 million. Someone just showed up at your door and was like, you just won $5 million. Like how excited would you be? What feeling would you have inside you if like the greatest thing in the world just happened to you this very second and you can't contain yourself? You're so excited you want to call your mom. In that voice, in that excitement, I need you to say, I will hit Success Club 20 in December. Okay, on the count of 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
I will hit Success Club 20 in December.
Awesome, perfect, way to go. Okay, you guys can unmute your lines again. So you probably all think, well, this guy's crazy, he's nuts. And yeah, I'm a little bit crazy and nuts, but I realized something, and that's that you will actually listen to your own voice 10 times more than my voice. What does that mean? If I tell you right now, hey, Shayla, you're going to hit Success Club 20 in December, right? You're going to be like, that's cool, I might. And someone else, I might say someone else, right? I might say, Sam, you're going to hit Success Club 20 in December. You're going to be like, yeah, that's cool. Jessica, you're going to hit Success Club 20 in December. You're like, that's cool. But now if you say that to yourself, if you say, I will hit Success Club 20 in December, or if you say to yourself, I will be a 5-star diamond coach by Coach Summit, right? Couple things happen, right? Like what you just saw in a very small kind of environment now, you start to feel funny saying it, right? You feel like a little bit weirded out. You're like, oh, I hope nobody hears me say that. You start to laugh and giggle a bit. And so the power of declarations, really what that means is that your mind is listening to you 24/7. 150 thoughts per minute go through your mind. So even if you're just sitting there relaxing and doing anything, I have a device somewhere. I can't remember where the heck I put it, but it's really cool. It's called a Muse device, M-U-S-E, and you put it on your head, and it actually measures brain activity. And I like all this kind of stuff. So it teaches you how to meditate, all that cool stuff. They sell them at Best Buy. They're kind of expensive. I wouldn't recommend buying it. Like it was neat to buy it. It's kind of a fun toy, but after a week, you don't really use it anymore because you learn to meditate. So I guess that kind of does work. But anyway, so I put this thing on, and it's insane, like you just sitting there thinking you're not thinking about something. Your brain is analyzing everything, like everything around you. Just like your challengers and people that you talk to when you put out invites, they're scrolling through their Facebook and they notice whether they've seen you pop up 5 times this week, or no times this week. They notice when they see you pop up, once or twice, once eating a burger, the other time, saying, oh, I had a shitty day. Or on the flip side, they do notice when it's like, wow, I had an amazing day today, or wow, I just totally crushed and enjoyed my workout. So your brain is always processing these things, your customers as well as yourself. So an important thing to understand is that you need to understand that no matter what, whatever you say to yourself, it has to be positive, and you have to set your goals. And so I've done this live a lot of times. If you see me speak live, I do this thing where I basically tell everybody in the audience at the end of my presentation to close their eyes. I'm not going to do it today, but I get them to close their eyes. I dim the lights. I play some music, and I go through a visualization exercise. And this is something that you can do like literally I do it every single day pretty much without fail. If I miss it in the morning, I'll do it after a workout. And basically I just do it in the shower. And that sounds pretty bad. I do it. Totally scratch what I just said. I always get myself in trouble. I was like, man, you always get yourself in trouble. You say one thing, people hear the other. I'm like, no. So literally, how do I say that the right way? Anyway, when you're in the shower, it sounds horrible no matter what I say, but literally, like, here's the thing. When you're in the shower, it's like the only time that you're not glued to this phone. Hopefully, if you bring your phone into your shower, you have serious problems, but you shouldn't be bringing your phone into the shower. Hopefully that's like the 5 minutes, 10 minutes that you have to yourself where no one else is bugging you. And if you have the time, I don't, I have 3 kids. If you have the time, having a bath, put some candles, all that kind of stuff, whatever it is, but take 5 minutes a day and literally talk to yourself. I know it sounds crazy and people make fun of it, but literally talk to yourself, because your brain is actually talking to itself every single day, 150 times a minute, okay? So you gotta take 5 minutes and control your thoughts, And what I do is I basically get everybody in the audience, usually live, I get them to close their eyes, and I go through what I do typically every single day, literally in the shower. What I do is I visualize 2 things. I visualize my day for about 30 to 40 seconds. I have it down now, but in the beginning, it might take you 2 minutes. Visualize your day, okay? So my challenge for you guys from this point is to do this tomorrow morning when you wake up, okay? Visualize your day, however you want. I find the shower is the easiest. No one's gonna bug you. And sometimes in the beginning, you actually wanna say it out loud, because just thinking it in your head, some people don't think that way. It's way better if you can just say it. So you don't wanna sound crazy, just waking up and talking in your bed. If your significant other is sleeping beside you, might think you're nuts. So go into the shower and do that. And just literally for 2 minutes, talk through your day, right? Today is going to be a great day. I'm going to do 3 amazing invites. I'm going to have 5 great posts. I'm going to have 2 amazing calls with my coaches. I'm going to have this call tonight with Shayla. It's going to go awesome. I'm going to inspire so many people today. I can't wait to post my Success Club leaderboard. And later on that night, I'm going to work on my all-star post that I'm going to post on Thursday. It's going to be an incredible, amazing day. I'm going to pick up my son from school. We're going to go buy a hockey stick, and he's going to love it. We're going to find the best stick, and maybe I'll buy him a chessboard. Like, all these things. Like, literally, like, there's nothing wrong with you actually. Like, it's so funny because our whole life, like, if you work for anybody, it's always like the plan. What's the plan? Execute the plan and do the plan. But then when it comes to our own lives, it's like we go outside and we're like, okay, life happened to me. Come on, bring it. And then you like get beat up and you're like, I don't understand why my day was so terrible, right? And I think that the reason our days tend to be so bad and so terrible is because we don't give ourselves a chance, right? Like, it's like, I don't know what's going to happen today. Whatever happens, let it happen, right? And that is not good. And you actually have the power to create the days that you can. Like right now, if I told everybody, if I said, you know what, blue car, blue car, blue car, or if I started saying like blue Ford, blue Ford, blue Ford, guess what? Even though I just said it as an exercise, tomorrow all of you are going to see freaking blue cars all over the place. And you're going to be like, was there a sale on blue cars? This is so weird. He just did this. And you will. You're going to see blue cars all day tomorrow. It's going to be nuts. But why is that? It's because your minds, no matter what, even if you're laughing and you're like, hee, I'm going to get 20, and you're like, yeah, fat chance of that happening. If you say that, right, your mind is going to become attuned and it's going to start listening to those things, and those things will happen to you. So the first 2 minutes are really like, how's your day going to go? And then the last 2 minutes, I typically do like, how are the next 2 years going to go? And so there I do another visualization exercise where it's like, what is happening 2 years from now? And it's so funny. I mean, we don't have time to get into this. We talk about this at some of our events sometimes, but literally, like, when's the last time you actually thought of, you're doing all these things, right? Like, what's your why? Like, you're doing this so that you can, have more income for your family. You're doing this so you have less credit card debt. You're doing this so that you can, pay off some of the bills for Christmas. There's lots of reasons why people do this. But then ultimately, if you actually sit down with someone and you're like, a lot of times, sometimes people are like, I'm struggling so hard in my business, all this stuff. First thing I always ask them is one question they can never answer. And it's like, what would the ideal week look like for you? And they're like, well, what do you mean? Well, what would the ideal week look like for you? Like if you accomplished everything, you became a 15-star diamond coach, you were making $1 million a year plus, right? What would the ideal week look like for you? And most people look at me like in the face and they're like, I have no freaking idea. I don't know. I have no idea. So really it's like, and you're expecting yourself to work super hard, sacrifice television, hockey games, sacrifice time with your kids and all this stuff. Why are you sacrificing that? And most people say, well, I don't sacrifice that actually. I think that I do, but I really don't make that many sacrifices. And the reason for that is because you're not clear on what your ideal week looks like to you, right? So as another note, if you want to write it down, like think to yourself, like what does the ideal week look like for you? You know, for me, it's very clear. You know, I would take my kid to school every day. I would go to all the field trips. I would pick him up after school. I would ask him about his day. I would make a really nice environment at home so that when he comes home, he's not getting yelled at or stressed out, and he can decompose and relax. And, you know, and I want him to come home to beautiful Christmas lights. And the next day I'd go visit my parents and we'd spend a lot of time together. I would show up to their house with our 2 kids so they could spend time with them, and we would have breakfast. And I come back and pick them up a little bit later. Like all these things, like what would the ideal week look like for you? What kind of car would you drive? What house would you live in? What color are the blinds? Like the more detail you can make for yourself of like what the ideal week looks like for you. Would you go to a hockey game? Would you travel? Like what would you do? Would you get married? What would the ideal week look like for you? So the last 2 minutes of that exercise is basically 2 years out. What does that day look like? And for me, what I've been doing a lot is like, I've been visualizing for myself, like, hey, I'm walking into Coach Summit 2017. I'm the top coach of the year. It's in Dallas, Texas. There are 100,000 coaches there that year. All these different types of things. I try and visualize them all so that they understand exactly, so my mind understands exactly what needs to happen. And those things are very important. So that's the power of declarations. The second thing is the power of belief, okay? The power of belief. And here's the thing. I can ask you right now is like, do you actually believe that you are worth it? Like, are you actually worth this? And the thing is, you know, you can lie to the world and you can say, yeah, I totally am. I'm totally worth it. I'm totally worth all this stuff. But if you look in the mirror, like, do you actually believe that where you're at right now is what you actually are worth and what you should have? Or do you believe that you should have more because you would do more with more, right? So do you actually believe you're worth it? And a funny thing and a funny exercise that you can easily do is, if I were to ask any of you, you know, just ask any of you, I know we only got 10 minutes, so I'll do it quick, but if I were to ask any of you, you know, and say, hey, you know, if I had asked you when you were 18, 19, 20, if I'd asked you, hey, what are you going to be when you grow up? Most of you would have been like, I have no idea. Some of you would have said, well, I would like to maybe possibly be like an accountant, but I don't know if I can go through all that. Or I would like to be a lawyer, but I know it's going to be a lot of work. I don't know if I'll be able to do it. But if you ask a child and you say, hey, what do you want to be when you grew up? The first thing they're going to tell you is, with confidence. My son was at a chiropractor today. He's like, what do you want to be when you grow up? Do you want to be a chiropractor? He's like, no, I want to be a firefighter. Right? And he's like, and she's like, oh, really? She's like, yeah, I can't wait. As soon as I'm old enough, I'm going to be the best firefighter in the world. I'm going to be so great. My other son was like, I'm going to be Tony Stark. I'm going to invent so many amazing things. It's going to be so great. So if you ask a kid what he's going to be when he grows up, he tells you like with confidence, like, this is what I'm going to be, right? And then the world beats you up for like 10, 15 years. Teachers tell you you're crap. Friends tell you you're overweight. Your family says, I'm not sure you're raising your kids right. All these things happen and you lose complete belief in yourself. And you're torn apart. And that's why like personal development is so important, because you have to have that power and belief to say like, I'm going to be X. I will hit Success Club 20. I will do these things. Because once you start talking to yourself this way, everything else works, right? Like people ask Cheyenne, what was the trick? How did you get 42 Success Club points? It wasn't what she did. It wasn't the posts. It was the fact that every day she was saying, this is how my day is going to go. Every day she was saying, I'm going to accomplish this. Every day she was saying, I fully and 100% believe in myself. Every day. So like a month ago, she went out and incorporated her business. She did all these things because she really believed that she was going to have incredible success. So therefore, with that incredible belief and success, when she's having conversations, all of that permeates and comes out in all of her posts. So then the exact same post that one other person posts and gets no results, she posts and she gets 42 Success Club points. That's how that works. Now, the last thing I want to tell you guys is the power of action. And this is a funny one I find. Like, imagine, and here's the best way I can put the power of action, okay? Because either you go on this call and you're like, yeah, he was entertaining and fun, and yeah, that was a really fun call, or you actually decide to take action and you do the things I've suggested you to do. And I do want you to do them. I want you on Shayla's page tomorrow. Maybe she can post something about this call, and maybe underneath there in comments, you guys can write how it went. How did you do them? And maybe I'll ask her to send me a screenshot of how the visualizations went, right? Because I think these things are very important. It all comes down to the power of action, right? Actually taking action on all these things. Again, 2 weeks ago, I said, here's how we're going to do this. Couples challenge. I'm going to post this, this, this. I literally gave everybody the game plan. How many people did it? Like 10, right? 10 out of 5,000 coaches. People are like, I don't understand why only 3% of coaches are successful, 97% fail. I can tell you, most of them, 97%, don't take action. That's why. You are someone that takes action. You're on a call really late, and you could be doing something else, but you're still on the call at 7, and you're taking action. So the next thing is to take action on what you're learning on this call. Otherwise, you might as well be watching TV. So here's the best way I can equate the power of action. Imagine going up to your husband, right, or whatever, wife, whatever it is. Hey, whatever you want to do is up to you. I don't know. If you walked up to them and you said, hey, honey, I love you so much, but... So imagine that. Imagine if you said, hey, honey, I love you, but there's a thing, right? Imagine if you did it that way. For one, most of your husbands hopefully would freak out and be like, okay, we need to sit down right now. Or if he was on his phone and you said that, he'd be like, what? What's going on? Talk to me right now. Hopefully. Otherwise, you got other things. But here's the thing. Not taking action is like doing that. It's like saying, hey, honey, I love you, but. It's like saying, hey, I believe in myself. I've done all these declarations, all these things, but I'm not willing to take the action. It's like being on one of the top teams that's exploding in Beachbody. No one's ever seen it happen before. Being on Shayla's team, on Casey's team, on all these teams, having all the support. Like you guys have all the support in the world. When I started, I had nobody, right? But it's like being on that team and then deciding that you're not going to do the things that are necessary to get the results. Right? So it's kind of like a wasted opportunity. So many people say, well, I wish I had that opportunity, or I wish I had that, or there's so many people that make excuses that are like, well, if only this would have happened, or if only, I'd be as successful as Jen Wall if I hadn't had a bad year, or if this person hadn't passed away, or if these things hadn't happened. Here's the thing. All these top coaches that you see, they've all had probably worse, if not the same, situations that everybody else has had in their life. Because I get to talk to all of them. That's the cool thing about my perspective. I get to talk to everybody. So everybody honestly has the same excuses that they could use, but one camp actually uses them, which they shouldn't. And they're like, okay, well, I just had a bad year and it was a bad November and I'm gonna start in January. Or this happened to me. But then there's this other camp that's a very rare small camp that are like, okay, well, I'm not going to let life happen to me. I'm going to happen in life. So yes, these things happened. Death in the family. I could name you stuff you would blow your mind that's happened to some of these top coaches, and they're still successful in spite of, because they don't let life happen to them. They're just like, this is my game plan. This is my why. This is my declaration. This is what's going to happen, and I'm willing to make these sacrifices because I'm very clear that 2 years from now, my family's going to have the life that I've never imagined they could have. And that's the thing, is like these people want these results. I know I got 3 minutes left. Don't worry, I'll wrap it up. These people want these results. Everybody, if I came up to you right now and said, here's a check for $1 million, right? Here's a check for $1 million. All I need you to do is to post 3 awesome posts a day on Facebook for the next year. Here's a check, $1 million. Deposit it right now. But I need you to post 3 times a day. I need you to do your workouts. And I need you to listen to 30 minutes of personal development. So literally like 2 hours a day. And I gave you that check for $1 million. Every single one of you would cash that check in and do it, because you're programmed in such a way that that's how life works, that you get these things, and when you get this, then you do, right? And that's the problem with this business. It doesn't work that way, right? It's not one of those things where it's like, you give me this and then I will give you that. So a lot of people are like, well, once I hit Success Club X, then I will run ads, or once I'm a diamond coach, then I will do these things. No, it's the world that doesn't work that way. The world works in a way where what you put in is what you will get out, right? So leave all the sacrifices, leave all the things behind, start doing those declarations, start doing the belief, start taking action, and your whole life will change. Everything else are just, tricks of the trade, little things. You can all learn that. I could take a handful of people, I could teach them all how to post stuff, how to do things, all that stuff. The doing is easy, step by step, very easy. What's hard is doing the power of the declarations, the power of belief, and actually taking action. So hopefully that was helpful, Shayla.
Absolutely. It's awesome. I just want to the hubby's at a bowling league, so I'm like, he's gone for 2 more hours. I'm going.
That's
My night
awesome.
hasn't ended yet. Yeah, no, thank you so much. If any of you guys have questions really quick, I know I thought I bought the upgrade before, but I didn't do it right. So I'm sorry. But if you guys want to ask Miguel anything really quick, unmute yourself and go. And if we get cut off, I'll post in the message group there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, thank
I
you.
like seeing all your faces. Most people are shy. Even in person, I have to make a joke usually. I'm like, hey, okay, raise your hands if X. And it's like 4 people raise their hands. And I'm like, okay, raise your hands if you're not going to raise your hands no matter what I say. And then everyone laughs, and I'm like, no, seriously, raise your hands. Okay. It's funny because
Oh, that's so funny.
I get it.
No,
But
I
yeah,
actually appreciate it. Thank you so much. For
no
doing
worries,
I
guys.
gotta- All right.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I gotta say, like when you mentioned about what would your ideal week be, like that, I never thought about it. Like that's never clicked. And when it clicked, I'm like, wow, like, you can plan your ideal week and then you would do the steps to accomplish that. I don't know.
No,
Maybe
totally.
it didn't seem like a big deal. I'm like, oh, that was huge.
That's awesome. That's so nice. It's nice to meet you. Nice to see you in person. I like your
Yay.
headphones.
Oh, thanks. I met you actually at I don't look the same
Oh.
right now at Edmonton
Oh,
at our
awesome.
Super Saturday.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I
You're
was
probably like, who's this girl coming to shake my hand?
Oh, no. I'm usually friendly to everybody, so sometimes it's hard because then people are like, hey, I met you last year. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no.
Oh, no, that's awesome. Yeah, we have a lot of girls so close to Diamond right now. It's crazy. There's a lot of new coaches that have hit Emerald like overnight. Our team is doing so great. So this was
You are
perfect.
doing awesome. Yeah, no, that's the only reason I'm on this call. I don't do these calls all the time, so